Alma and welcome to my book journey. So today I am going to be doing a really fun book tag that I saw. The first one I saw was Book Lover Amanda do it. It's the Book Tower Challenge tag. And then she said that she got it from the Protagonist Pub. And then I also saw that Jane Reads did it too. And she did it, and I saw that she did it all one genre. And I thought, oh my goodness, after I did it, it took me a while to put it together. So I don't know how she did keeping it all one genre, but she's amazing. But anyway, so there's 20 questions to find a book, and then hopefully the tower will not collapse before I finish this video. But I'm just gonna zip right through these. And a lot of these are from my shelves that I have not read yet, which is sad. I tried to pick books that I have not read. There's a couple in here that I have read because I couldn't find anything else on my shelves that would go with it, but most of these I have not read. So number one in this Book Tower Challenge is the first book in a series. So on the top of my little tower here is this book. Oh gosh, they're already moving. Okay, so this one is Page Torn, and it's by Erin Magnum. And I heard about these books on BookTube, and I was like, oh, that sounded really sweet. And I have I think there's 3 in this series, and I haven't started reading it yet. So this is something maybe for the coming year to, try to get these books read. I buy them and then I just have them sitting on my shelf. So that's number one. Number 2 is a second book, but in a different series. So book 2 in a different series. And so this one is Southern Storm Book 2 by Terry Blackstock, and this is in the Cape Refuge series. And again, I have all of these books. I have this entire series that I picked up. Oh, I think my library sale had all of them, and I picked them up earlier this year, and I haven't started them. So there's that one. Okay, number 3, a book with blue on the cover. And so this is one. I think this is a really pretty cover. This is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Haven't read this one either. It's a fairy tale retelling of, it must be Rumpelstiltskin, right? Because he's still spinning silver. Okay, so there's that one. Number 4 is a book title that is 7 letters long, no more nor less. So 7 letters. And I found this, I thought that would be kind of hard to find, but I found it pretty easily on my shelf. It's Romanoff by Nadine Brand. Isn't that a beautiful cover? So there's 7 letters in that title. Number 5, a book you never read. This one is called Things We Didn't Say, and this is a book I haven't read yet, never read, but I am planning to read it in January because it is an epistolary novel, and that is a readathon that I'm going to be participating in January. So I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to. Okay, number 6, a book with the sky on it. And so I had quite a few that had the sky, the background and the cover. But then I found one with a sky and then a sky in the title. So I thought, hey, double. Beneath the Scarlet Sky by Mark Sullivan. Another one, it's kind of chunky, but it's been on my radar to read. Okay, my towers are doing okay. Okay, so that one was number 6. Number 7, an author with a first letter of your name. So I saw Amanda do this. She's like, well, I'm going to go above and I'm just going to actually pick an author with my same name. And so I did the same thing. And I actually found an author that has my same name. And this is The Deep by Alma Kutsu. And this is another one that I picked up earlier this year. And I'm probably going to read this in April because it's a Titanic book about the Titanic. And I picked up quite a few Titanic historical fictions, and this one's kind of like a scary Titanic book. So there's that one. Okay, number 8, a classic. I don't have very many of those, so this one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And so there's this one I picked up at a little free library. So there's that. All right, number 9, a nonfiction book. This is a pretty cover. This one is The Holiness of God by R.C. Sproul. And really want to get this one read this year, coming year as well. All right. Number 10, a book with 4 or more colors on the spine. So this is the same author that did the first book that I put on, The Page Torn. It's Erin Magnum Mismatch, but the cover has like little rainbow, kind of like little colors there. So I thought that's perfect for this one. All right, number 11, a book that says #1 New York bestseller on the front. So when I was looking through my books, I found quite a few that had New York bestseller or Times or something, but I was like, oh no, it's supposed to say #1 bestseller. So I did find one that I haven't read, is Kristen Hanna Homefront, and it says on there #1 New York Times bestseller. So there's that. And then number 12, the smallest width or length in book on your shelf. And I got this one. So I thought this was it's a teeny little book. It's called Peak by Roland Smith. And I think it's YA. And it's like about a 14-year-old that gets, climbs the mountain to save his dad or something. Like an adventure story, but it's just a cute little size book. So there's that one. Okay, number 13, what is the last book that you bought? And that one is The Other Einstein by Mary Bennett. I just picked this up recently at a library sale. So there's that one. And then number 15, a book with a face on the cover. I had quite a few, but this one was I thought was so pretty. The Butterfly and the Violin by Christy Cambron. This is another one that I really want to read. I have 2 books. They kind of go together, and this is the first one. But I love that cover. Okay, this one is, the next one, number 15, is a spin-off book. So I had to look this up. So this is like a book that has ties with other books that the author has written. And when I was Googling it, I found this one. And I was like, oh, I have that book. But I haven't read it. And it is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And it says it ties in with her books Daisy Jones and the Sixth, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Carrie Soto is back, and Evidence of the Affair. And I haven't read any of those, but they all have like little Easter eggs or characters that are in all of these books. Not necessarily like sequels or anything, but they just pop in and you recognize them when you read the books. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So let me know if you've read any of those books, to let me know if this is a book I should read or not. Okay, number 16, we're almost there. A book published over 10 years ago. So I picked one that's like way over 10 years. I think this one was published in the 80s, like 1986. But I've had this on my shelves for a while. It was also recommended, and I just haven't got around to reading it. This one's called The Honorable Imposter by Gilbert Morris, and it's part of the House of Winslow series, and this is book 1. And so I've heard these are really good. So quite an old book, 1986. Okay, number 17, a book with a sequel coming out in the next year. This one was tough for me because I don't read a lot of like brand new books, or have a lot of brand new books that are, or recent books that have sequels. The only one I can think of was When the Day Comes She has a new book coming out in May, I believe, the next one in the Timeless series. So I'm counting, it's not quite a sequel, but it's a new one in this series. So I kind of fudged on that one, but there's that. And I can't remember what the title is for the next one. Okay, number 18, an author that has the same first letter in their first and their last name. And so I picked this one. Love this cover too. It's Connellan Cassette and Light on the Hill. This is a book 1 in the Cities of Refuge series. So if you read her Out of Egypt series, this is the next series that follows it up. And so I really want to try to read this series this year. I read the Out of Egypt series this past year, or this year. Okay, number 19, a book with an epilogue. This is called The Last Exchange, and it's by Charles Martin. And I won this on Goodreads, and I haven't read it yet. And I've read 2 of his books, and I really enjoyed them. And I just have to, you know, get around to picking up this book. So this one has an epilogue at the end. All right, number 20, and this was the hardest one. This was the hardest one. A book that has a title with a made-up word. And I had to borrow one of my son's books. It was on my shelf. That's how I found it, because he's been wanting me to read it. And I'm thinking this is a made-up word because it's the guy's name. And it's part of the World of Warcraft book series. And this is called Arthas, The Rise of the Lich King by Christie Golden. So that's going to count as my made up name. Look at that cover. And like I said, it's part of the World of Warcraft lore that he told me you need to read it. It's fantasy. Okay. All right, so that's it. Those are all of the books in my tower, and my tower is all broken down now. But so I challenge you to do this challenge. You might think it's hard. It's not as hard as you might think. I mean, there's some of them I had to look up and try to figure out, but it was fun going through my shelves and picking that up and doing that. I don't know. I think Protagonist Pub, I think she was the creator, so thank you to her. And I'll put all 3 of their videos. I'll put hers and Amanda's, and then Jeanette's, hers that she did, and in the description below if you want to check them out. And if you haven't done it, I challenge you to make a tower of your own. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and